Good morning, I'm Hannah Flegel, credit repair expert and founder of Foreclosure Options Network. I've been helping people repair their credit after foreclosure for several years now. I also wrote a book, How to Return to Homeownership After the Mortgage Meltdown. And if you'd like a copy of my free book, please send me an email at Hannah, Hannah, at foreclosureoptionsnetwork.com. In today's workshop, I'm going to provide all the options available and the pros and cons to each option, and then you decide what's right for you and your family. Over the years, I've come to realize that there are 4 areas of vulnerability. The first area of vulnerability is taxes, potential deficiencies, the credit damage, and the emotional stress that comes along with the foreclosure. Let's discuss the foreclosure process. What is foreclosure? What is a trust deed? And what is a promissory note? I call this slide paper for promises. When you applied for the mortgage, you were given use of the house, and in exchange for that, you signed a promissory note, and you were given a mortgage. You also received title to the property, which is called a deed of trust or a trust deed. Paper for promises. For many of us, our mortgages are larger than our homes, and for many reasons we're unable to service our obligations. So what we're speaking about is to repudiate the debt or restructure the debt in some cases. For many of us, our house hardly looks like a home. It looks more like an alligator. Let's discuss the foreclosure timeline. Typically, 90 days after missed payments, your lender will file an instrument called a notice of default. This notifies you that you are in default of your mortgage payment. In other words, you're promised to pay. Typically, 90 days later, the lender will file a notice of trustee sale, notifying you when your property will be sold at auction. Due to the lender's backlog and inefficiency, this process might take longer. It could take up to a year. It might even take up to 2 years, depending on your market. There are 2 types of foreclosure. There's a judicial foreclosure process and a non-judicial foreclosure process. The state in which the property is located in will determine which foreclosure process your lender will use. Often, homeowners ask me the question, where should I start? I'm not sure where to start because everyone is biased. If they start with a real estate attorney, they may find themselves in litigation. If they start with a short sale specialist, they might find themselves in a short sale. If they start with a loan modification company, they might find themselves in a loan modification. I say start with the facts. Look at your paperwork and see where you stand, and then go meet with a HUD counselor in your area. That's hud.gov. A HUD counselor will help interpret what type of mortgage product you have and where you stand, and they will also provide you with a recommendation. There are 2 types of loans. Non-recourse loans are typically purchase money loans used to purchase property, single-family residence, 1 to 4 units. To confirm if your loan is a non-recourse loan, you'll want to look at your paperwork. For those of you who have refinanced your loans or have home equity lines of credit, typically those are recourse loans. The next fact that you'll want to know is who owns your loan. That will determine who is the decision maker with regard to what option they're extending to you, whether it be a loan modification, a principal write-down, a short sale, a deed in lieu, or one of the other options available. You can look up your loan on these websites or call your lender and ask, who owns my loan? I would like to do a quick recap to determine where we are right now. What type of loan you have, recourse or non-recourse, what type of foreclosure is most probable in your state, judicial or non-judicial foreclosure, who owns your loan, and speak with a HUD counselor for an unbiased recommendation. You'll want to understand your available options and determine which is the appropriate strategy for what you're trying to accomplish, both short-term and long-term. Option 1 is a refinance. You can get out of an option ARM, Alt-A, or a high interest rate mortgage product. These mortgage products were never intended to be long-term financing products. Keep in mind that a refinance loan will become a recourse loan. For many of you who are self-employed, it might be a challenge to refinance. I encourage you to work shoulder to shoulder with your favorite tax professional and a qualified mortgage broker in your market to help you refinance into a sensible mortgage that sets you up for long-term success. Option 2 is a loan modification. There are two types of loan modifications. The first type is a amortization modification, which means you take the current debt and you convert that into a 30-year mortgage. At the end of 30 years, your property will be paid for, free and clear. The second type of loan modification is an interest-only payment, and typically these are 5 to 10-year interest-only payments. This will allow you a smaller monthly payment, but will not pay down any of your principal balance. You would speak with your lender directly, ask them for a loan modification packet, or you might be able to download one off of their website. Once you get your loan modification packet, you may need some assistance in helping you fill out the paperwork. Again, I encourage you to work with a HUD counselor in your market to help you accomplish a loan modification. For those of you who are real estate investors, a loan modification on investment property is going to be up to your current lender or servicer. You'll want to contact them directly and ask for a non-traditional loan modification packet.